Hello, welcome back to the Wrestling Newsroom. I'm your host, All Things Wrestling, and today we're going to be looking at all the WWE and TNA news of the last 2 days. We kick off where Dave Meltzer mentioned that WWE has been doing a lot of multi-person matches lately because the booking is slow. While WWE reportedly has things planned out for SummerSlam, the company does not have much in the way of creative ideas for storylines until then. The multi-man matches are essentially being done as a way to fill up time. That is not a good thing. That is a really bad thing there. Not having enough things to book. Scared. Despite having a match that got rave reviews at NXT TakeOver Chicago, right now there doesn't appear any plans to have Pete Dunne or Tyler Bate on the main roster, which is sad. Also a travesty. They did not get 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. They got 4 3/4 stars. This is an outrage. Hashtag 5 stars for Dunne and Bate. Seriously, the match deserves 5 star. I know it's a meaningless rating, but for the love of God, it deserves it. With WrestleMania 34 taking place in New Orleans, WWE is planning to make their June 13th SmackDown Live in the city a major show. Randy and Jinder were announced, but likely that match will be changed into a dark match since they are scheduled for Money in the Bank. Kevin Owens vs AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura vs Dolph Ziggler are also being planned for the show. That'll be very interesting. I like that idea. And regarding a women's Money in the Bank match for next month's pay-per-view, Dave Meltzer confirmed early reports that the match is being discussed and noted that nothing has been finalised. A format sheet from this week simply reads Women's Match number 2 for the pay-per-view, but there is no indication that the match will be a Money in the Bank ladder match. I hope it is. That'll be amazing. And regarding Adam Cole possibly joining WWE, he's still currently a free agent, but the feeling is he'll end up with the company as a top NXT star unless something changes. It is being said that Impact Wrestling is also still interested in trying to sign him. Fair point. Good job. Emma is expected to be recovered from her shoulder surgery in mid-June, so the injury isn't as serious as initially feared. That's good. So, a couple of weeks, thank God. And this is the best news I've ever heard. Asuka has officially surpassed Goldberg's WCW winning streak, the fake one, of 173 wins. His original one was like 156, something like that. But this was an exaggerating one, and she's commented on the accomplishment with the following message. I respect Goldberg so much. He's amazing. I'm honoured to be an undefeated champion with the longest streak in WWE history. Hashtag WWE, hashtag WWE NXT. You've got the longest streak in wrestling history, I think. I don't know. But good job, Asuka. She's got like 176 wins or something. That is goddamn mental! How they could have a streak like that in today's society is ridiculous. Good job. Way to break the mould of the current wrestling, Asuka. Goldberg did react to it with the following messages. The streak is in very good hands. Fist bump emoji. Hashtag congratulations. Claps. Retweet. Well, it's nice that he says it is in really good hands. To be fair, Asuka is amazing. I don't know if this was a plan initially for her, but it is now. Just like New Day, I don't think they were initially planned to break the Legion of Doom streak, but they kind of happened because of the whole legal thing. So, fair point there. And Jinder Mahal has now got merchandise. Here is a picture. It looks quite nice. It's a modern day Maharaja with an elephant. That is what his t-shirt design is. Look, it's gone now. Amazing how this works, isn't it? And in an interview with AP News, Chris Jericho commented on his future with WWE and compared WWE with his band Fozzy. Here's what he said. WWE, it's the brand name. I'm just a cog, an important part of it. People like it. But this is our band. People are here to see us. That, to me, is a little more of a rush. It's not under the assumptions of another name. It'll be a long time before I go back, he says. If I ever do go back, if I never go back, it's fine. If I never had another match, it wouldn't bother me. That's a lie. You're going to be back. Chris Jericho, you're scheduled to wrestle in June. I'm just saying this. You are going back. You will wrestle another match. That is bullshit. It's already been confirmed he's in Japan. So, great job on there. Solid work. Sorry, I went that a little bit far, but I do want him back. On his latest podcast, Eric Bischoff praised WWE's decision to make Jinder Mahal WWE champion. I loved it. Great move. I didn't know he was actually going to get the title. As far as getting him featured and giving him the spotlight, it makes all the sense in the world to me for the right reasons. Business-wise, strategy, and also as a character. A new character and something that is fresh. It's not the same kind of recycled cookie coming out of the cookie press with a little different flavour. I think it's really unique, and that's what WWE needs right now. Fair point. I love it. Oh, very interesting news on 5-Star Wrestling. They've announced that former WWE and ECW World Champion Rob Van Dam will take part in the biggest tournament in wrestling history that starts in Liverpool Echo Arena June 10th, the 128-man tournament. Wow, that's going to be amazing. Regarding Impact Wrestling GFW Emerging Storyline, it's believed that it will be concluded at the upcoming Slammiversary pay-per-view. Impact's current deal with Pop TV also expires January 18th. There is no word yet if the deal will be renewed. That's my only TNA news already, have to be fair. So I thought I'd slip that in there for you. Billy Corgan mentioned to PW Insider that it's very close to finalising his deal to purchase the National Wrestling Alliance. Corgan, I really wish you'd stay with Impact Wrestling. It would have been so much better under your leadership, mate. Hogan brought up Dave Lagana, Jay Bradley, Aidan O'Shea, and Sherry Shaw, who wrote the music during Corgan's run as TNA president, as names who he would be working with the new NWA. Well, that's very interesting. Not actual WWE TNA news, but there you go nonetheless. NWA might become a feature depending how it goes. With some fans being critical of how Jinder Mahal made his recent physical transformation, Mahal had a response to an interview with the Times of India. I don't know what kind of criticism that was. I worked hard at the gym a lot. All of WWE talents are drug tested by third-party agencies. I have been tested multiple times and never had an issue. So you know what, my transformation is all diet, hard work. I am tested athlete like every other WWE wrestler. I have no special privileges, nothing like that. I look like an athlete, I perform like an athlete, I carry myself like an athlete, and WWE is not hesitant to put me in a WWE title match. Fair point. Good job. Thank you, Jinder. I don't believe you're steroiding. It was one hell of a transformation, mate. That is what's the problem. You went from being chubby and fat to being ripped as fuck quite quickly. We also commented on the pressure of being WWE champion. It's definitely an added pressure, but I like pressure. I thrive on pressure. I use the pressure to motivate me more, to work harder and to die harder, to be more aggressive in the ring. Pressure is something I want. I want the company to put faith in me because I'm ready for it. You know, a lot of athletes just want to coach by fly under the radar, but not me. I want to be the greatest. I want to be a champion. I want to represent WWE, represent India, represent everyone on the biggest stage, as big a stage as I can. Okay, good job. Do you also want to represent Canada? Yeah, interesting story. This isn't on script, so I'm just going to go off script. Script in commas there. Jinder Mahal got congratulated by the Canadian politicians. Great way to break kayfabe right there, guys. When first Calgary champion since Bret Hart 20 years ago. There's an interesting fact for you. A Canadian like that has not held the championship in 20 years. Good job, guys, for borrowing that one. Oh, NXT spoilers right here. So you might want to skip the next 45 seconds to a minute if you don't want to hear the spoiler. Anyway, I've warned you, let's go. Hideo Itami officially turned heel tonight at NXT tapings. That was Thursday. He had a match against Oni Lorcan. He gave him 3 GTSs. Ono came out to talk to some sense into him. Hideo attacked Cassius Ono. Ono pushed Itami. Itami leaves. Cassius Ono checks on Lorcan. Match appears to be no contest. They call referees out to help Lorcan to the back. So that's spoiler number 1. Spoiler number 2. Ciampa came out on crutches during his taping. He said when the crowd chanted "Why Ciampa? Why?" He invited Gargano out to the ring because he feels like he owes him an explanation. He went, right, Johnny isn't here tonight. Thursday before TakeOver, Ciampa sustained an injury. It didn't matter, he was still going to fight. But the people were thinking of dream partners for Gargano. It took 24 hours for Ciampa to become an afterthought to the fans. When Ciampa realised he lost, he knew he was injured and was going to go away for a long time. He looked across at John and it became clear if Ciampa went away, Gargano would just replace him. Ciampa wouldn't be an afterthought and in that moment he made a choice and the fans' fault and it was Gargano's fault. The DIY is done. If Ciampa had gone away, then Gargano had to go away too. TakeOver Chicago was supposed to be a DIY moment, but it ended up being Ciampa's moment. Ciampa is irreplaceable. Gargano is irreplaceable. The fans are irreplaceable. When Ciampa returns, he'll be the most dangerous man in professional wrestling and everyone is on notice. Fair point. Sounds amazing. There is your spoiler. Oh, very bad news for Matt Hardy right now. Matt Hardy's trademark application for the broken gimmick was given an initial refusal today by the USPTO, citing that it was identifies of only name of a particular character personal name and doesn't identify and distinguish applications services from those other and indication source of application services. I have no idea what that means. Hardy had services listed as entertainment services, namely wrestling exposition performances by a professional wrestler and entertainer. At this time, Hardy had 6 months to respond to the refusal before the application is abandoned. Just give it to Matt Hardy for fuck's sake. Ciampa update. An ankle injury Tommaso Ciampa suffered in last week's NXT live event appears to be worse than initially expected. It's believed that further aggravation the injury by working the ladder match at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Ciampa will be travelling to Birmingham, Alabama for further diagnosis and treatment. Stay tuned for any further updates on Sunday. I'm scared. Very, very good news. Paul Morton was arrested last month at LAX airport, for the love of God, with the alleged carrying weed and meth through. He took a polygraph and it proved that he wasn't lying. Yesterday was Waltman's court date. According to Sam Roberts, the case against Waltman has been thrown out by the DA and Waltman has been cleared of the charges. He did comment on this to TMZ Sports saying, I feel amazing because even when I'm sitting in jail the whole time, I got this smile on my face and for once I'm going, wow, for once I didn't do it. I'm LA County Jail for something I actually didn't do. Back in the day, years ago, I ended up in LA County a lot, all for drugs. Well, I'm happy you're clean, mate. Congratulations. Thank the Lord this is over now. You can keep your life on the straight and narrow. Good job, mate. Controversy around The Rock's new movie. It got a low 20% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, that amazing website that has super accurate reviews? Not. They went, Baywatch takes source material, Diggle factor to R-rated level, but lacks the original campy charm and leaves its charming stars flailing in the shadows. Rock responded to the never negative reviews with the following messages. Oh boy, critics had their venom and knives ready. Laughing face emoji. Fans love the movie. Huge positive scores. Big discount with critics and people. And when amen brother to someone, what a job they have her. It's not in my DNA. And 4-star review. Thanks for getting it. We're Baywatch, big, sexy, dysfunctional summer fun, and Jack with his 28-pack abs. Hashtag asshole. Like a hang loose sign. You know, like the emoji thing that you used to do in the 90s. I like that. He responded to it, and he was still classy. Good job, Rock. Hinkles... Daniel Hinkles of 5-Star Wrestling stated he'd be willing to offer Punk more than the initial $1 million offered to get him to wrestle for the company, and he would love to talk to Dana White about allowing Punk to compete for 5-Star Wrestling. Yes, please. Last month there was a report that former TNA star Gunner would possibly join the NXT brand if he could pass physical. He put the following message on Twitter last night. Hard work pays off. I almost hung it up. I'm glad I didn't. World, here I come. Time to take over. NXT, we think. Teases he will. Come he must. What the hell am I speaking like? I don't know. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Sorry about that. Well, like 20 past. Regarding Randy Orton's negative comments towards indie wrestling, former WWE star Rene Dupree wrote the following message on his Facebook page. Randy, everything was handed to you, from your nickname to your finishing move. People can say the same about me, but when you were hired, you were a fat slob. I just won Canadian bodybuilding nationals and qualifying for the world. You have 0 matches and I have 500 plus. You wouldn't last 1 Japanese tour. I'm on 49 tours and you counting. If HHH wasn't such a mark for your daddy, you would have been 5 years ago and you're nowhere near the worker your father was. You're bashing indie guys. Do what I did. Grow a set of balls. Go out there and prove you're special, because I'm sorry, bud, but your chinlock you use is boring as a shit burning bridges. I don't give a fuck. I think that says, because it's just stars. Hashtag truth. That is all fair point. Randy has nothing to prove. Because he's shit. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say nothing to prove. He has everything to prove. Oh, and he also wrote a follow-up post saying, another thing that I forgot to mention, when Randy doesn't realise because he never worked outside of Stanford Company, is the most important independent wrestler rely on selling their merchandise to make dollar. He wouldn't know, would he? Putting the exciting high-risk matches is what they need to do. I have a valid opinion on this because I've done both. Am I right or wrong? You're completely right, mate. Indie guys make a living for themselves despite people like this. I love the indie wrestlings. It's great. And the last sad story I actually have to announce today. There's recently a news story about a 2-year-old girl dying after reportedly being slammed by her mother's boyfriend. The boyfriend was allegedly performing wrestling moves on the child, which included the Batista bomb. The boyfriend was arrested for abuse of neglect for a child. The mother was also arrested for endangering of welfare of a child. First of all, that is a heartbreaking story. Do not hit moves on the children, especially that age. That is just irresponsible. WWE did have a statement saying, we're deeply saddened by the tragic death and hope that the guilty parties are brought to justice. There is no excuse or justification for the brutal and ultimately fatal beating of a 2-year-old child by a grown man. This is a clear case of criminal intent and lack of parental supervision. I 100% agree with you. There's a difference between showing wrestling moves and actually fatally beating a 2-year-old child to death. I've performed moves on my little sister before and she's come out of it fine, because you know what, I know when to stop and know which moves are safe to perform and which ones are not. I've showed her, and plus I do it on a bed when I've done it, but I have never gone anywhere near that level at any point, and I waited until she was like 10 as well. Point there. I've never done it on a young child. That's just a stupid idea, and I hope that man gets the full extent of the law for being such an irresponsible fucking arsehole. And that mother should feel the guilt for the rest of her life for allowing something so bad to happen. We don't know the full parameters of this situation. Maybe she was not there. We do not know. But for whatever reason happened, a 2-year-old child died for the neglect of a parent. That is inexcusable and an horrendous act. It should be punished to the full extent of the law. That's all I have to say on that issue. Anyway, the news, apart from that one last story, has been alright. I like the fact that CM Punk is getting offered more money. Please come on, CM Punk. Money in the Bank women's match will be a great stepping stone for women to make even more impact in wrestling, and I love that idea. Women should be pushed to the moon. They are as good as men. That's the whole of what this women's revolution was about. Making women the centre and not the joke and the side act. That's a cruiserweight division now. But I digress. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode of Newsroom. If you have, please give it a like. Please support me on Patreon, a link in the description below. Subscribe to see more content, and I'll catch you later.